AEW Dynasty had a very bold creative decision that has completely changed a lot of fans' ways of thinking. I mean, even the sickos are coming out in disgust about this situation. Now, you guys might be shocked to learn that I'm actually not going to literally just poop all over this, because there are some things that I liked. However, we're going to have to talk about that, because this decision, plus when you hear Tony Khan's comments at the press conference, it is definitely making people think the end is coming. I don't think it's that serious. I don't think it's that deep, but we're going to talk about it. Also, an indie wrestling promotion has been bought out, and it's a pretty significant company. And we're going to talk about Swerve Strickland's shoot over a WWE star. All right, guys, I want to kick things off with OVW. I was really fascinated to learn today that OVW has actually been bought out. This is one of those things that is very intriguing to me, because a lot of people tend to think that WWE is going to come in, buy a whole bunch of the smaller companies, and continue to push WWE ID and that kind of thing, right? And well, today's news is very interesting, because it's not a wrestling company who bought OVW, and I think that's really the crazy part. Morley Sports Management Limited has acquired Ohio Valley Wrestling, and they will take over operations of the company on May 1st. The founder of MSM is Rob Edwards, who will officially become the CEO on May 1st, 2025. They did put out a press conference, press release. And while they say OVW are pleased to announce that Morley Sports Management Limited will acquire a majority shareholding in the business from May 1st, 2025. MSM are current owners and operators of the Haverfordwest County, who are a professional soccer club based in Wales and play in the nation's Premier League, as well as providing strategic and creative consultancy to some of the biggest world's sporting brands. What? I have never heard of this company before. Apparently, their club played in the UEFA European competition in 2023 for only the second time, and became the first Haverfordwest County side in history to win a European tie when they beat North Macedonia's KF Skandia in the UEFA Europa Conference League. They're currently in third place in the Welsh Premier League. So this is not some massive team. This is not some massive team with some massive track record of being overly successful. So that kind of goes to show you that this company that bought OVW really isn't some massive company that understands wrestling. Or do they? I don't know. Who knows what's going to happen, man? Honestly, OVW, it's so crazy because so many great people came from OVW. I don't know if this is going to lead to anything good. And I'm not going to sit here and act like I watch OVW all the time. It's very hard to watch. But, you know, they have some cool wrestlers there that I'm familiar with. And a company who's not involved in wrestling has bought them. Strange. Well, I think that leads us to this.
Now would be the best time to remind you that we have a major goal to hit 100,000 subscribers. Over 40% of the viewers who watch this channel are not subscribed. Please click subscribe if you enjoy staying educated on everything with wrestling news.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, and that brings us to Swerve Strickland. I can't show the footage because Swerve Strickland has a potty mouth. The Swerve Strickland lost last night at Dynasty, and he decided to take the mic, and he confronted a empty crowd, basically. I mean, it was relatively empty. If you watch the clip, you guys know what I'm talking about. If you guys have social media, I'm sure you can find the clip. I actually did post it on my TikTok as well, if you guys aren't following me on TikTok. But he has a potty mouth, and he basically said, F Booker T. Not basically said. That is what he said. He said, F Booker T. And he actually said the real word. So the thing that's really crazy about this is Booker T, Swerve Strickland going back and forth. Swerve Strickland, DJ Vlad. It's caused a lot of controversy. And listen, a lot of people are going to have their own opinions on this. I understand that a lot of people are going to pick sides just based on where, you know, what company they like the most or whatever. However, I just think stuff like this is silly. I think it's unfortunate. I don't think it's a good look for Swerve to go out there and say F Booker T. I don't think it's a good thing for Booker T to go on his podcast or on his radio show and talking about Swerve. I think this is like silly. This is petty. This is the kind of stuff that really isn't supportive to anything. It doesn't help any sort of movement. It doesn't help any individual. I don't think this makes Swerve look good. I don't think it makes Booker T look good. And realistically, my opinion of this has really come out of the fact that I think when you look at professional wrestling as a whole, I don't like the idea of people within the business beefing with each other. I didn't like it with Punk and the Elite. I don't like it with Tiffany and Charlotte. I don't like it when it's people from opposing companies. I know some people do, but I think in the wrestling industry, you are already in a situation where you are in your own niche. Okay, Swerve Strickland was at the Philadelphia 76ers game doing the memorable thing of where you hit the bell. And like that was cool. They're trying to promote AEW, Dynasty, and Philly. But like people in the crowd didn't know who Swerve was. People in the crowd didn't care about that. And so, the thing about professional wrestling is you want it to be popular. You want it to be this mainstream ordeal. And then you got to think, like, if you're a potential person like looking at this stuff, it's going to rub you the wrong way. If you're somebody who's not familiar with these guys and you hear about these guys, it rubs you the wrong way, and it already looks so silly as it is. And Swerve is way better than that. Swerve is has more potential than most wrestlers. Like, he is going to be one of the guys for AEW. But this kind of stuff is just not a good look. And it's not a good look for Booker T, who's an NXT commentator, WWE Hall of Famer, also bouncing back and talking shit to Swerve. Because to me, it's like, man, you're a Hall of Famer. Like, what are we doing here? And that brings us to Tony Khan. This decision is absolutely crazy. And I will be sure to elaborate more on this on the Ango show live at 12 p.m. Eastern. I promise you guys, you're not going to want to miss the show. It is a very, very big episode. However, AEW has literally seen some incredible blowback. And it's not because, here's the thing with AEW. They get backlash for the CM Punk airing the footage, right? And that's valid. That's reasonable. It's not very often that you see fans overwhelmingly have this kind of backlash towards an AEW creative decision. And what makes it worse is Tony Khan goes into the press conference talking about, listening to fan criticism. This is where things get really crazy. AEW has Swerve Strickland lose. Okay, that's one issue. A lot of people are not enjoying the Death Rider storyline, so for a lot of people, it makes sense. You want Swerve to win, you see the Death Riders thing is continuing, you're not enjoying the storyline, it makes sense. However, a lot of wrestling fans at this point believe that Tony Khan is so dead set in his ways that he's not actually listening to the fan feedback. So he goes out there and publicly says that he is. However, a very overwhelmingly large percentage of the audience do not feel like they're being heard. This is the kind of thing that hurts AEW and WWE and every wrestling company. You have to listen to your audience. Now, AEW is in a different bubble than WWE because Tony Khan has made it very clear that he books for the sickos and he books for the hardcore audience that is on social media. And they are the ones with this criticism. They are the ones who are mostly upset. If you go on social media, you are not seeing positive reviews about the show. You have Hangman Page help Swerve, and then it's weird because Swerve still loses. I understand what AEW is doing. I actually don't hate it, believe it or not. I don't hate it. And I think people are going to be so shocked to hear that. And I will elaborate more on the live stream because it is a much longer platform to discuss. Please check it out. 12 p.m. Monday through Friday. Guys, I don't hate it, but I understand why fans do. And for that reason, it has to be said, this very well could hurt AEW.